Brett Pontecorvo here at mainstagetoableton.com, and today we're going to talk about my 3 favorite MIDI effects devices built in to Ableton Live. We're going to talk about the pitch device, we're going to talk about the Arpeggiator, and we are going to talk about the chord trigger. Now, before we jump in, make sure that you like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you like what you see, because I don't want you to miss out. Every single Tuesday and Saturday, I am coming out with new content that is going to make you the best that you can possibly be at using Ableton Live. So I want to make sure you're totally plugged in. Like, subscribe, comment. Let's check it out. So here we are inside Ableton Live. And the first thing that I want to talk about is the Arpeggiator. So we're going to do that on this patch here. See here, this is sort of like a percussive thing we got going on. That's my piano sound. So you hear, this is kind of a percussive thing we've got happening. And this is the type of thing that can really add a lot of rhythm and a lot of depth, especially if you're coming into a section of a song that needs something rhythmic happening. And it's not just the Arpeggiator that I use, but specifically it is the random setting that I find to be the most useful. So if you come over here to your MIDI effects and drop in an Arpeggiator, and we're going to choose from the style random, and I'm going to play a chord and you can have a listen. I'm going to adjust the rate to 16th and steps to 2. Now, the reason I like random is because it's less likely to get messed up or change if you're playing the wrong amount of notes, right? If you're playing 4 notes, but you're in 3/4 time, and depending on the pattern that you're doing, you might not get your notes landing on the correct downbeat. So random really works to kind of prevent that. Let's give it a listen here with some other sounds. So maybe you're playing piano and pad. Effect, right? It really takes it to another level, and it's really not that much work to set up. All right, let's talk about the chord trigger plugin. Now, this one is a little bit more elusive, and I actually have done a full video entirely on chord triggers that I'm going to link in the description below. But we're going to just do a really basic approach, and then I'll show you sort of the larger thing that you can get your hands on if you're interested. Let's do it over the piano. So this is the slow burn piano, which if you like the sound of this, you can pick that up over at my website. But let's drop in right now our chord plugin. Now this is pretty simple in terms of how it works. I'll play a C, and then I'll do my first shift to be major chord, which will be 4 steps, and then my second one to be 7. So that's great if you only want a major chord, but as a keyboard player, usually I want to have a sort of a diatonic series. And so the way that I go about this is I can group it. So if you hold down, you select your chord trigger and Command G, you can sort of come in here and adjust this. So if you wanted this to be C, you could move your chain over to C, and then you could duplicate this and say, well, I also want the same exact chord voicing on G. Now this can be tedious, and so actually what I've done is I've created this channel strip that you can download from my website at mainstagetoableton.com/chord trigger. It's absolutely free, and it sort of does it all for you. It's got all of the keys here. And the thing that I also really appreciate about this is these are actually chord voicings that I would play. So let's go ahead and see what happens now when I do this in conjunction with my random chord trigger. So here's my pad, and I'm going to fade in. we're going to have a look at the pitch plugin. Now, there are a couple of reasons that I like this, but it's actually sort of like a hidden gem, in my opinion. So pitch kind of does what it looks like it does. I can play a note. I'm going to turn this off for now. And if I adjust the pitch, it will just change the pitch of the note, right? But the actual hidden gem, in my opinion, is down here, which is where it says lowest and range. And what that does is that sort of allows you to create an adjustable key range, which you can't really do in any other way unless you're going into these instrument racks, and these are not MIDI mappable. So I'm actually going to put this pitch plugin over here on the piano. And let's say I actually don't want anything past C2 to be sounding. So I'll just go ahead and set this to C2. So I'm clicking and dragging. Oop, missed it. Here's C1. Maybe my arrow key will be better. There it is. So I'm going to turn off my chord trigger as well. So when I'm playing C2, I get sound, but below it, it's filtered out. Now, if I only wanted that one octave, I would set my range to 12, and then anything higher than that would be filtered out, and those are completely MIDI mappable. So that's something that you can adjust as you're going along depending on what song, what patch you want to do. So there you have it. Those are my 3 favorite MIDI effects to use in Ableton Live. Before you go, head over to my website at mainstagetoableton.com/go. Download your free copy of the Fast Track Patch List Guide that'll have you up and running with a main stage style patch list in Ableton Live in no time at all. I'm really looking forward to seeing you there.